Hi, Rob Mitchell here. Thanks for joining me today for Day Trading the Order Flow Powerhouse series with price momentum and order flow traps. First off, past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. There's a risk of loss trading futures. Don't use the grocery money to trade. So, as mentioned, this is part of a series. About a month ago, I began doing a series of webinars where I described and discussed key aspects of successful trading systems, trading strategies, and trading signal design and development for use in day trading or any other form of trading for that matter. We do it in the shorter intervals here in these presentations, but it can be expanded to other markets and other applications as well. So this presentation is part of that continued effort. The past presentations for your viewing pleasure were what makes the best day trading strategies, signals, and trading systems, what makes the best day trading indicators, and day trading market structure secrets. So key components in the systems that we're going to build today and cover doing this are the Smart Trap Trader Oscillator Advanced, and we're just going to use the pressure bars on that particular indicator. That indicator has many functions in it. We're just going to use one of them. And then I'll mention later that you can actually expand that out to other things. There's probably more than 30 different patterns that you can trade using the Trap Trader Oscillator. So we're also going to use the smart momentum. We're going to use that as a trend indicator. We're going to use the smart breakpoint so we can see the inflections on that smart momentum. We're going to use the smart super Renko bars as our price bars. And we're going to set that up so that there are two types of bars that are presented on the chart, a reversal bar and a continuation bar. And the reversal bars are just going to be twice the continuation bars. Smart Super Renkos also have a lot of other functionality in them that you can use for advanced applications. We're going to use smart trade markers for testing the systems that we do. And then we're also going to use Shark Indicators Bloodhound, which is optional, that we're going to use for showing the background colors on the chart. Now this system or systems that we're covering and all the components used can be put on your chart with the Smart Patterns Trading System Min Pack from Indicator Smart. There's also some other information on that website that can teach you the kinds of concepts that we're using in building these kinds of trading systems. So system and strategy rules: when the smart momentum turns and starts going in a different direction and is continuing in that same direction, as shown by a dot on the smart breakpoints. We'll look at a chart in a minute so you can see that. The smart momentum dot or the background color on the main chart panel, as mentioned, we're using Shark Indicators Bloodhound for that in this particular application. And you get an order flow trap that occurs on the Trap Trader Oscillator Advanced, TTOA for short, when the pressure is negative to the reversal. I'll show you how that works so that will be clear. And then while that's going on, the background color in the price panel is green for up or red to sell and is opposite the color of the reversal bar. And that'll be clearer in a minute when we cover it. We're going to call this pattern SMOM PBR, Smart Momentum Pressure Bar Reversal. So why would a system like this work? Well, number one, the momentum is strong in the direction of the trade. As mentioned, we're considering the momentum as a trend indicator in this case. And the order flow traps on the pressure bar. So you're going to see that the order flow is going opposite to the direction of the momentum. And what that suggests is that there are traders trapped on the wrong side of the market within that framework, while keeping the background color intact. This demonstrates that the smart momentum itself is predictive and the pressure is contrary to it, forms a kind of order flow trap. Now the smart momentum, one of my room members about 5 years ago started saying the smart momentum knows, the smart momentum knows. And when the smart momentum starts moving in a direction, you'll often get follow through in price action in that same direction. Yeah, so to review, you're going to see a red reversal on a green background color to buy, or a green reversal on a red background color to sell, and both with the opposing pressure to the price momentum. So we're going to use trade markers to mark the trades for analysis, and let's look at a chart. Yeah, so what we're doing here is, you can see that the background is green, and you get a red reversal on the green background, and you get negative pressure. You see the same thing here. You get negative pressure on a red background with a green reversal. You get negative pressure on a green reversal on a red background. And you're fading these reversals is what you're doing. You know, you're fading them. That's the pattern. It's just simple. Smart momentum's going up, negative pressure, fade. You know, smart momentum's going down, negative pressure, fade, negative pressure, fade. Smart momentum's going up, turns green in the background, red reversal, fade. You know, does it again, fade. You know, the smart momentum is going down, acting as a trend indicator, and you get negative pressure, fade. You know, that's the pattern. It's pretty simple to see once you see it. On this particular strategy, we're just using the reversal bars. You can see, as I mentioned, the reversal bars are double the size of the continuation bars. And you expect continuation on those when you get this kind of a pattern. You know. I ran this test over about 280 trades or so. Resulted trading a 3-lot. First target 5 ticks, second target 10 ticks, third target 25. Well, we use a stat in this called the edge. The edge is the amount by which you're breaking even. You know, I developed this when we developed this trade markers. I developed this and asked them to put it in there because it really tells you how effective your business is. You know, there are other things on here. Adverse excursion numbers and favorable excursion and things like that, expectancy, and other things that you'd expect in a test like this. This is from trade markers, and we use this for developing statistics on these kinds of systems, and lets us know what we're dealing with. 91%, 81%, and 62% for each of the 3 targets. You also see the edges are increasing as you go. Now, you can also go in and trade markers, and you can vary these numbers in all these different categories. You can set break-even stops, trailing stops, and everything. For these today, I didn't do that. I just used what was given and what was shown. You know, but you could certainly use those kinds of things. Just an extremely simple system. You can't get any simpler than this. There's 2 components in it. There's the trend and there is a trap. You know, super, super simple. Smart momentum, PBR, pressure bar reversal. So you can see the results from that are pretty robust, and there are many ways to use a system like this, both as a context. You can think of it as a signal, but a lot of times I use this kind of thing in my trading for a context, and I'll look for other things going along with it. We get what we call probability stacking or theoretical probability stacking. You can also use it for money management to decide if you're staying in a trade, and etc. Could you improve a strategy like this? Sure, we already discussed a couple things like that. Generally, if you trade with the bigger trend, that is a good thing. You know, there are many applications, themes, variations, and usages of a system like this. It could just be a starting point, actually. You know, you could also add other components, as I mentioned previously, with the Trader Oscillator Advanced and other indicators from more advanced trading system packages from Indicator Smart. Yeah. So further, the signals that we're demonstrating here can be used for trade management, trade entry, context, and for estimations of probability stacking or progressive probability stacking. And I've discussed those in other webinars that I've already mentioned. The SMOM PBR method strategy signal is very aggressive and robust system that can be implemented with a minimum tool set. So let's take a look at another theme or variation on the same methodology using the same components in the E-mini. Yeah, a lot of people interested in the E-mini. In my trading room, we trade in the crude oil, but these same concepts extend to other markets, you know, as previously mentioned, or timeframes, or anything for that matter. So for this approach, what we're going to do is we're going to use the smart momentum color instead of the dot. You know, this happens when the smart momentum crosses the zero line. You know. And so if I parse the smart momentum out into different quadrants, there's the zero line. So you've got it, you know, if you get a dot, you can be going towards the zero line. And then you cross the zero line, that's another quadrant. And then you get a dot going in the other direction. And then you cross the line and you get another quadrant. And then you finally get a dot going the other way. And there's 4 quadrants to that. And what we're essentially doing in this is we're parsing the market out by these quadrants and testing or creating systems that work within either of those. So that's what this particular system is going to do. It's going to wait for it to cross the zero line. In addition to trading on reversal bars, we're also going to allow trading on continuation bars with this same pattern. Yeah. Now, when the smart momentum crosses the zero line and is continuing in that same direction, as shown by the color, we're going to have the background color on there again for the crossing of the zero line on the smart momentum. Yeah. An order flow trap will occur on the TrapTrader Oscillator Advanced where the pressure is negative to the reversal bar or the continuation bar. Yeah. Or the continuation bar. While the background color in the price panel is green for up, red to sell, and is opposite the color and for the reversal bar or the continuation. So let's take a look at what that might look like. In this particular case, we're waiting for it to cross below that zero line, which is right there. It's red, you know, it's red. And you get the negative pressure right there. The pressure is opposite to the direction of the bar, telling you that there are some traders, excuse me, trapped in that bar. As staying red through here, after you got the dot, on the other system, we would have been considering longs by the time we got that dot and started heading higher. You know? And so, you know, that's one way you could modify this. You could just take it between red to the dot or green to the dot. You know? The background is red. We get negative pressure right there, negative pressure right there. You know, market comes up and turns green, crossing the zero line there. And we get negative pressure on the red reversal bar, telling you some traders got too short in that against the trend and they'll fire long. There's the one on the continuation bar we had mentioned. Also going higher, negative pressure again, turns over red, negative pressure, turns over red, negative pressure, turns red, negative pressure. And so just super simple, 2 components in the system. Smart momentum is a trend indicator and the TrapTrader oscillator telling us that there are traders trapped on the wrong side. Super, super simple. When I first began developing trading systems, the first 7 years of doing it, I really didn't come up with anything. And after about 10,000 hours of messing with it, I developed a concept that I called push-pull. One thing is pushing and another is pulling. And that's exactly what this kind of system is doing. I've been building trading systems with a concept like this for decades, decades. One thing's pushing, the other's pulling. The lesser thing that's pushing is in the wrong direction, telling you that there are some traders that when you fire a trade like this one right here, it tells you that those guys are probably going to get stopped out, which is going to carry you through. And if it's going to carry you through, you can get into a manageable trade situation. So here's the result for that. On this one I ran, we've got a lot of trades in this one. This system is not as efficient. It's even more aggressive than the prior one. It waits for a little bit later in the cycle. Then you've got edges of 5, 5, and 16 on this one. You know, I ran this over about 9 trading days. I think I have that summarized here for you. Yeah. But again, on the trade markers, you could go in and vary the, break-even stops, trailing stops, and the size of the profit targets. And I didn't really mess around with a lot of things on this. I just ran the system based on the concepts that I know to be true. And we're putting together a system here that's based on things that we know work, things that we know work already. And each one of them actually just standing on their own. We know that negative pressure is indicative of trapping. We know that the smart momentum, and one of the most important concepts in smart momentum is that momentum leads price. Momentum leads price, very important concept with this kind of stuff. And it's what this whole system is based on. So this test had over 1,400 trades in about 2 weeks' time, about 9 trading days, with a first target win of 85, second 72, third is 60, with an edge at about 15 on that third one. The edge, again, is the amount by which the system breaks even. Now, a little bit on that subject. My father owned a business when I was growing up, and he always told me, he goes, there's only a couple few percent in the whole business. There's all this money flying all over the place. There's trucks, warehouses, deliveries, meeting with clients, secretaries, bookkeepers, rent, all, utilities, all this kind of stuff. And for most brick and mortar kinds of businesses, a few percent is often the best that you can do. If you're getting edges that are more than that, then that tells you you've got a pretty good little business there, particularly when it tests over large amounts of data, or as we've done here around the prior system, these are concepts that we know to be true over long periods of time. And so we don't have to run that much testing. I'll make some more comments on that in a minute. So this system is tested. Just lets the trades run or reverse where the signals are given. No special money management kind of stuff. So you could improve the system by testing out how it acts around those levels. And you could also choose to trade only with the trend or the market structure or its variance, as we teach in the trading. You could also, or those other videos that I told you about for that matter. So you could also add other components with the Trap Trader Oscillator Advanced, as I'd mentioned earlier. You could use the needles or the patterns in there. And like I said, there's at least 30 patterns that we know that work with the Trap Trader Oscillator Advanced. That being said, do you want to try and do all 30 of them at the same time? No, I strongly recommend you keep it simple until you can understand how these things work and not take on 30 of them all at the same time. And so that's why for this presentation, I'm just very simple system. So these methods were designed with no optimization. The key concept is that the system was built from components that were already known to have an edge. Generally, I won't accept anything that's less than 75%. 68% in binomial statistics, just regular statistics, is at the edge of random. And so 75% is better than random, and generally won't mess with anything less than that for combining things together. And so we combined 2 things here to make a system that was likely to work based on those factors in both of the systems, which were pretty similar to one another. So many such systems could be built using this approach. Many. Shoot, as I mentioned, 30 different methods on the Trap Trader Oscillator alone. You could build hundreds of different kinds of systems technically off of these things and the various tools that are available at Indicator Smart. This is what we're doing today is just a broad stroke approach to a well-designed trading method. Well, there's a big difference between this and data mining or doing bulk optimization and back testing. Big, big difference. So I discuss and expand upon these kinds of concepts in the trading room. So we've covered system building theory and application of the 4 main quadrants of building a good trading system. And you can learn more about those quadrants at Indicator Smart or in some of the other videos that I'd mentioned. We cover these kinds of trading concepts daily in the trading room, as previously mentioned. So there are many other patterns that we teach in various forms in the trading room involving the quadrants we discussed, using the tools from Indicator Smart, Smart Patterns trading system of tools. Many of these have exceptional theoretical hit rates, predictive value that can add to signals and get what we call probability stacking. Trading this way, there's really nothing like it. It's a different approach, and a large percentage of traders are not successful, and that's what these traps are actually doing. It's getting the guys that don't know what they're doing on the wrong side of the market. This type of a system is inclined to stand the test of time better than traditional ways of building trading systems because each component or statistic stands on its own independently and is based fundamentally on the way markets work. Order flow, momentum. Therefore, you get theoretical, independent, uncorrelated, simultaneous probabilities that are stacked. That's a pretty complicated sentence, but that's what it is. Do you need to know that? No, not really, but that's what it is. So in case you were wanting to learn more. So join us in the trading room if you want to learn more, if this makes sense to you, what we're doing here. The trading room is cool because it's a live application of these and other concepts. We're discussing these kinds of concepts on an ongoing basis in the room. We think it's best to learn and to advance your skills in this kind of an environment. Knowledge in such methods and contexts can work in any market as discussed, any reasonably volatile market. This system and all components used can be put on your chart with Smart Patterns Trading System Min Pack. And you can use other tools listed, and that can be found at Indicator Smart. There's some recent comments from the trading room. And so you can learn more about the tools we've covered today in this little mini webinar and get Smart Patterns Trading System at indicatorsmart.com, get advanced live daily training at the oil trading room. And as I mentioned earlier, we do use oil. There are specific reasons why we use oil because of its consistency. It is the ideal market for training and teaching these kinds of concepts. Now, be sure to join our mailing list on the website and be sure to subscribe at the YouTube channel on this video to keep informed of more systems and methods when we post them. I'd like to thank you for joining me today for this short presentation on system building, day trading the order flow powerhouse with price momentum and order flow traps. Thanks for joining me again, and see you again soon.